Fez hot glass. I'm doing a little bit of a kind of like an update video, yeah, I'm kind of doing an update video. So I had my whole epic series on how I make my night lights, and I had a crappy Uncle Fezzy commercial to show how I make the night lights also. And I've had a design change with the lamps, with the night lights, and I kind of thought it would probably be a good idea to explain what the design change is and just go over real quick again why I'm getting, or why I'm asking $100 for one of these things. So the process is incredibly labor intensive to make these. Between making the lens and the base and the electronics, I have like 2 or 3 hours, if not more. Actually, it takes like 3 days to put one of these things together. One of the things that has added a significant amount of time to these is I have decided to go with a red, blue, green LED. Now, red, blue, and green mixed all together at the proper voltage produces a white light. Shows up on camera here. Ooh, it should look white. Man, it looks a little blue there, but actually it's pretty cool. You can see on the camera that it changes colors, right? So if you look at it directly dead on, it's white, but when it shines up through the night lights, it splits into multiple different colors, which is exactly what I've always wanted, right? So there is multiple colors in the lens itself that are in the glass, but some of those colors react better with different colors of light. Now, I was originally using these cool white LEDs. These are 5mm LEDs, the same, you know, they're white. These are just white-ish. They're more blue. I don't particularly care for them, but the red, blue, green LEDs really work so much better, and they look so much better. So that's the new twist to the night lights. The light is significantly brighter, and it splits into all these different colors, and white. So it's white, and it's got all these other colors on the inside. They really look fantastic. The downside of that is the original white lights were only 2 leads. So I can pull one out here real quick. So the original is only 2 leads. It's a positive and then a negative lead. Yeah, okay. So that's what was the original lights, and they were relatively easy to wire up. Well, why do something easy when you can do something 3 times as hard? So the new LEDs are 4 leads, which means I have to wire 2 resistors in and a power lead. These choke the negative side, which I thought was a little weird, or cathode and anode. I don't know. You have to choke the out lead on these. So there's one positive lead, and then these are the negatives. So I have to choke this end of them. But that's neither here nor there. It works either way. It works either way. But what that does mean is I have to wire in 2 resistors and the power lead. And then the really crappy part about this is the power lead, right? So I now have to strip back more wires off, because this is how they come, right? They just come bare leads. And I have to strip them down. I'm going to move the camera here and then show exactly what I have to do with each one of these. So doing these has become exponentially more difficult because I've added more resistors. Now I have, and I have to insulate the positive lead because they short out if you don't. I found that out the hard way. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a little piece. Well, I have to strip these wires back first. I bought these wire clippers at Harbor Freight of all places, and they work fantastic for this particular project because they're adjustable. As a matter of fact, I might buy 2 pairs. So to strip the main casing off of the power lead here. They come pre-tinned, but we just cut those off. And then I strip back about that much. All right, where was I? Oh, okay. So I use these to strip back the outer casing on the wire because you gotta strip the outer casing off. I try not to use the tool beyond just cracking it. So now strip these wires. I know this is really exciting, right? Sorry, this is but this is kind of like this is why these are, I'm not going to be given a whole lot of discounts on these because they are an incredible amount of work. So now strip that off. Strip that off. Now I have an impedance. I have an ohm calculator, or yeah, it's a resistor calculator for LEDs. So the that tells me where or what resistor I need to use. And in this particular case, I can get away with a 100 ohm resistor on the blue-green leg and then a 150 ohm resistor on the red leg. If I don't put a 150 ohm resistor on the red leg, it gets screwy. If I choke it on the in, right? So if I put a 100 ohm on this leg and then just put a 50 ohm on this leg, it doesn't work. You would think it would, but it doesn't. So I've practiced, or I've experimented multiple different times with different layouts, and this is the layout that I've been able to come up with. So I've been tinning the wires ahead. It just seems like it makes it a lot easier. Just if I tin the wires, it makes it easier to put them together. We're just going to tin the wire real quick. I need to make a new one of these boards with a little bit better jigginess to it. Make it a better jig, right? So with this particular lamp, or this lamp in particular, I need to be very careful. This is a very short base on this one, so I need to stick the bulb in, and then that'll tell me where I can where I have to bend it, right? So make sure we're still in the frame here. Yeah. So this one here, I'm gonna use a marker because it's easier. Right, so these all have to be bent and all has to fit in this spot, right? I could probably, well, I'm going to on this particular one, I can shove the hot lead can be kind of long, but these have to be short because they have to fit in this little spot here, in this little spot. Now, this is why they cost so much, kids. And that's why they're not toys. I've had a couple people, question the durability of these, and it's, at the end of the day, it's not a toy. So what I've been found is it's best to insulate the positive completely. On the two-legged LEDs, I didn't have to do this, but on these 3 or 4 leg LEDs, I have to insulate the positive lead to get it to work right. If I don't, what ends up happening is I end up shorting them out. I mean, it's just that simple. The space where I'm shoving these is pretty tight. So it kind of wants to be as compact as possible. And the other thing I have to do is make sure I don't screw up my heat shrink. This is my first one of the day, so this could go poorly quickly. You know, this isn't a nuclear reactor. This is a nightlight, you know. So my soldering doesn't have to be perfect. It does have to be solid and conduct electricity, but it doesn't have to be perfect. The other thing I generally do with these two is I love these little nippers. I got these with they're not, I think they might be Snap-on. I don't know. They got overspray all over them. So I'll take this, now I'm going to take this heat shrink and I'm going to run it all the way down, all the way to the LED here. So that gets run all the way down to the LED. I'm just using the soldering iron to shrink it. Now, I'm still going to insulate these with CA glue and in some cases hot glue, but that doesn't want to be there. There we go. But that'll keep that from that keeps that from touching completely. Now I have to put my resistors in. Now I can't put the resistor below here, so this one actually might not work. I have to check this one more time. And you know what, it'll fit. I'll make it fit. So we're gonna grab our 100 ohm. It's a 100 ohm, 1/4 watt resistor. And wire it in on this leg. Now remember, I can't go below this line here. There's a line on here that I can't go below because that's where it's got to be bent to fit. And the resistor won't fit there, right? So I don't want to get too close to the LED. So instead of doing it real close to the LED, I'm choosing to do it a little further away. So that's the 100 ohm. That's the red, that's the blue green. And then I need 150 ohm, which I'm slowly, or quickly, I should say, running out of, because I didn't, I mean, I could add an extra resistor and make them, you know, 150 ohms that way, but I don't necessarily want to do that either. So eventually I'm going to have to buy another pack of 150s. And then we're going to wire this one in here. And I can't go below that line. Wink. Just like that. Then I might wire I might do those now. So I got to work on this jig. It still works okay. The other thing I do too, which is probably not good for them, but I do have I will wire. I'll turn them on. So that's that. I'm gonna turn this one on real quick. I keep a power supply right next to me to do this with when I'm building them, because I'd rather catch a mistake now than after it's glued in. It also helps me when I go to insulate when I go to insulate them. It helps This way I know 100% sure that nothing is touching. That absolutely nothing is touching in here. Oh, this one's, oh no, okay, we're good. Brain fart right there. So, I get to nip that little booger off of there, trying not to cut the wrong lead, which I've done. And I want it as close in as I can get it. I don't want nothing too stray. Trim that one off. These little hunks of wire everywhere like toenails. Let me see here. Okay. Now, straighten that out. Now I'm going to stick this inside of this one here. I'm going to turn it on, actually. We should be getting power. These switches are nice because they have a little LED that tells you whether they're on or off. So that's off and that's on. And then here's our light. So we have light, and we don't have any shorts just yet, but we're not done yet. They definitely don't like to be shorted out. That's for sure. Now, let's see what I can... Got to be kind of careful with these things. They only bend once or twice, and then you're done. So that goes in there. And then that's going to get bent like that. I may actually bend it back again this way. Yep, I think that's the way I'm going to do this one. So this is why this... widen that shot out a little bit there to show what I'm doing. Okay. So each individual lamp has to be fit this way, you know, for a lot of reasons, but the main reason being, you know, each one of these is literally a one of a kind. So the bases are a little bit different, the sizes are a little bit different, the amount of space between the bottom of the lamp and the this are a little bit different. I can probably I gotta keep trying to keep it in frame here. So this one I'm gonna take and I'm gonna solder this one like that, right? So that'll be there. I'm gonna pop the lamp. I'm gonna pop it out. So I know I have room to do this. So we can just take that out of there. It's a little bit easier to solder these on the table. Just want to make sure I have all my leads tight. And nothing is shorting. Shorting is a big issue. Okay, so we have all three colors. Okay. And then we're gonna just kind of jam that in there for a second. That's why I have this little jig that I made. Every time I go to do one, I find a better way to do it. It's nice and wet. Trim off my pigtails. And we're going to stick it in the lamp again just to make sure everything fits. Everything marked, everything membered, everything fits. That's not right. We have got a short somewhere. I got a short somewhere. So different resistance will give it different colors of the reds. But that's good there. I like that. I gotta clean. There's a little bit of schmutz in there. I gotta get out of there. But this is what you're paying for. I mean, it's... And this is the way I'm doing them too. This is their... That's... You know, I've had a couple different debates with how these need to be assembled, and quite frankly, this is how I'm doing it, whether anybody likes it or not. I don't know if I like that. So I have a jig here that I put these in. Jig is a relative term. It's a coffee cup. I'm going to unplug that soldering iron before I burn myself. I don't like that. I don't think that's also an indicator something's not right. Yeah, we're gonna stick it just like that. So I got this jig here, also known as a coffee cup, and I've got CA glue